Hey everyone, welcome back to another SAT math video. This is a question from the official 2024 Practice Test 5 Math Module 2. The solution to the given system of equations is x comma y. What is the value of 30x? Okay, so we basically need to identify what is the underlying concept, and the underlying concept is system of equations, right? So whenever we have system of equations problems, there are a couple different methods that we will need to try out to solve for some point that connects both systems or some solution that connects both systems. You can say point or solution interchangeably depending on how you think of it. So in this question, right now, since I see that they give us two equations, and in one of the equations there's like an exact opposite value, this tells me that the SAT wants me to add them up. So, okay, and they want you to add up the equations, right? So I'm going to write that here, to add. Hopefully you can read that. So they want us to basically do like this for these two equations, okay? And why do I know that? Again, because I saw this here, this 5y and minus 5y, that's going to cancel out. And the rest of the equation is very easy to add up, right? There's not any really complex numbers. So we first identified it was systems of equations problem, and then we figured out the way in which SAT wanted us to solve it, right? Because they'll basically tell you and show you all you need to do to identify the type of problem in the problem itself. So what we're going to do now is add up both of these equations, right? So first, let me just really quickly discuss what I mean by adding up equations. This part is completely optional. You may skip this if you want, but I'm just going to describe a little bit on what adding up equations would look like on the graph, right? So let's just suppose, in a simple example, we had some line, right? Let's call that y is equal to f of x. This line, if we were to add a different function, right? Maybe our function is just like a straight line going in both directions. I'll draw some arrows on this one too. Maybe this is y is equal to g of x, right? Adding up both of these equations would basically result in some sort of translation of this graph, or you could think of it as a combination of both graphs, right? Both of these get added up, right? So that gets added with this one, right? And then you would get some resulting graph, which would be a translation of both of them combined, or like you can imagine translation of one graph down, right? So that would be like down here. Then you would get a graph that is shifted up or shifted down depending on what the other or what you were adding to it, right? And that happens across all points. So that's just like a little, in case you wanted some more theory behind what is going on. And that is just, for your own knowledge. Anyways, let's go back to the problem. We have basically 5y equals 10x plus 11, and then underneath we have minus 5y is equal to 5x minus 21. We're going to add them all together, right? So let's start on the right. We have 11 minus 21. That is going to be minus 10. 10x plus 5x, 15x, right? That is equal to 5y plus minus 5y, so we will have 0, okay? Now, let us try and isolate our x term, right? So we would just add both sides by 10, right? So then we have 10 is equal to 15x. You might be tempted to be like, let me just divide by 15 and then solve for 30. That would be my answer, right? Well, remember, we need to find the value of 30x, right? We don't want just x by itself, so I want to make this 30x. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2, and then we get 20 is equal to 30x, right? And that is our actual answer, not what x is equal to. They are asking us what 30x is equal to. If you fall for that, the SCT got you. So that's all I gotta say about that. So there you go. That is how you do this one. Remember, the fundamental concept here was which concept? System of equations, right? And then there are a couple ways you can solve a system of equation, right? You can solve for xy for a point, right, that connects both of them, x comma y, or you can add and isolate. You can add them up, right? You can add them up too, right? There's multiple ways, but in this one, we had to add, and then once we added up the equations, we had to remember that we didn't want x. We did not want that. We wanted 30x. Okay, so that's it for this video. This problem set is linked in the description for you to follow along. Check out Khan Academy. They have a lot of great resources. You can also check out some of the other links I put in the description in case you just want to know what I watch. And of course, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.